First, before we get into that, I wanted to talk about UFC 232. I thought it would be here in Vegas. When I came home from California, I thought it'd be here in Vegas. We haven't been on since then. Haven't had a chance to react. It's been moved to Los Angeles, California, and the reason is because John Jones could not get cleared by the Nevada State Athletic Commission because of a picogram, which is
17
1/500,
picogram.
no, 150 trillionth of a grain of salt.
But 17 picogram. It wasn't just a picogram.
Oh, yeah, okay, 17 picograms.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, they found it, and apparently what they've been able to assess is it wasn't recent ingestion. It was from 18 months ago. Regardless, it's in the system, and Nevada State Athletic Commission just didn't have, I guess, the literature, the studies to even rule on this. USADA cleared him, by the way, and said, no, we don't think there was any intent to cheat here, but rules are rules. And because of that hesitancy from the Nevada State Athletic Commission, the UFC called California and said, would you guys do this? California on their end said, whoa, okay, we've studied this a little bit. It seemed like they knew a little bit more about it than Nevada State Athletic Commission, but the one thing they wanted out of John Jones was for him to hop on a plane, go take some tests. Andy Foster cleared him. They're headed to Inglewood, California. I can't believe this shit, man. I can't believe. When I wake up in the morning, I always think the sport can't shock me anymore, and the sport always shocks me.
Yeah. This whole thing, to be honest with me, first of all, you have to give a shout out to Alexander Gustafsson for agreeing to even to fight.
Uh-huh.
This is the guy everybody has to give the credit to, not USADA, not the UFC, not nobody. You have to give Alexander Gustafsson a shot out for him to be able to fight. Secondly, listen, the UFC is a multi-billion-dollar company. They will make the best business decision they can to sell pay-per-view. This is what they do. It's the end of the year. They have bills to pay. They gotta make the best decisions. A wrong decision, right decision. Some people agree. Some people disagree. It made it harder for guys like Corey Anderson. His wife's 7 months pregnant.
I saw that.
Latifi. They have to travel, and now they're not gonna get on a plane. They're gonna drive because when they get on a plane, it's gonna retain water in their body, and it's gonna be harder for them to make weight. First of all, USADA's a joke. USADA's fake. This is my opinion. And everything DC was saying is right. Whatever beef him and John Jones is between them. I do think John Jones is one of the best fighter ever, but stuff like that will haunt your legacy. And I just don't. Listen, everybody follow Nevada, right? But the UFC always follow Nevada, and everybody should follow Nevada. Now, you have other commissioner, they don't follow Nevada, or they go against what Nevada wanted to do. And, the UFC becomes so big, and they control so many different area in the sport and outside the sport. And listen, you can't knock them for doing that. Some of the fans bought tickets and drove overseas. They're the ones going to suffer. I hope the UFC will make it right. But they made the best business decision. I think John Jones getting pay-per-view buys, Gustafsson giving pay-per-view buys. These two guys going to make a lot of money, and now the fight has become so much bigger. But I don't like USADA. I think why even having USADA? If you're going to, not even follow, you can't give a guy a pass and you give guys somebody else like Mir or Lara or like 2 years. You can't do that. You have to be treated everybody equally. Some of my guys got tinted supplement, got 2 years. You see other guys get 6 months. What's the guideline? You have to follow guideline. You have to have the rules. But everybody think Jeff Nowitzki, he's the USADA guy. Jeff Nowitzki worked for the UFC. He doesn't work for USADA. But the UFC pay the bills, and I don't know how much integrity USADA have. But the UFC, like, if I'm the UFC, I'll do the same thing they did because I have to get my business making me money. I have to move on. And listen, if you take John Jones off the card, how many Cyborg and Amanda Nunes, how much you buy, they can sell. They made the right business decisions. That was, it's not good for the fan. It's kind of a little bit of, not good for the fan. The fan will suffer. I don't know if the UFC is gonna go ahead and reimburse all these fans or for their flights
Probably
and
not.
hotels and
Yeah.
you know.
They're making it affordable. I guess tickets went on sale today. No ticket over $300. So they're going to try and make
Yeah,
it
but
affordable for the new market. And I don't know what's going to happen to anybody that came to Vegas and paid for a ticket. Usually the law is if the main event falls out, you can ask for a refund. But what does that do about flights and hotels,
Listen,
like you said?
I got some of the media called me and said, "Hey, sorry, we're not coming." I say, "Why?" I said, "It's so expensive. We already booked flights and hotel, and we can't be refunded." Everybody got kind of hosed, you know.
Wow.
But just fuck Usada. I don't like them. They inconsistent. They not fair to people. They treat everybody different. They treat every situation different. And the UFC brought him in to legend the sport. But why even having him? Why even have him? And the whole thing. I'm not an expert about drugs, but in your system, come out your system because come back because you couldn't wait. I really don't know. I cannot point fingers, but you guys got like DC. He fought John 2 times, and DC is like going crazy, and I agree with DC. DC is like, how you gonna allow this guy to fight again on this kind of stuff? At least give him 2 3 months to clear up, and after that, have him fight.
You're right about Gustafson. I wasn't sure if he would still take the fight, but he did. He said John can be on his, what do you call it, rocket
Jet-
fuel or something, jet fuel.
Yeah.
He says I'm still, the Jones era is going to end on Saturday. So the fight, again, folks, is still happening. It's just the whole card moves from Las Vegas to Inglewood, California. Tickets go on sale today. I guess people that had any form of a prior ticket will get the first chance to buy. No ticket will be priced over $300. The card stays intact with both title fights and everything you've seen leading up to, unless there's some sort of a fight week fallout.
The people to blame here is USADA, 100%, because the UFC is their businessmen. You understand? USADA's the law. You gonna follow the law? The businessmen gonna do whatever they want for the business, wrong, right, whatever. They're gonna do whatever to make the business money.
Mm-hmm.
And if I was me, I did the same thing. I'm not gonna lie.
What do you think of this option?
Yeah.
Why not have the fight card and just put Jones and Gustafson on a future pay-per-view?
Yeah, but the UFC would have, they would have lost their money too.
Well, so I understand that. But here's the problem I think a lot of media and fans have. The UFC, Dana White did an interview about 6 months ago, and he said, we sold for billion. We're already up to $7 billion.
Yes.
So business is booming. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
They're going to expand over here, the PI. They're building one in China, all these new TV markets. They're coming off a big pay-per-view. Your client, Khabib Nurmagomedov, defended his title against Conor McGregor. So, they've canceled events in the past. It seems like although it would have been the best business decision, it's not the best business decision for everybody. And even though the UFC is the business and they're the ones that have to run, the business to make money, they've always gone out of the way to make their fans happy whenever possible. And this is a way where I feel like we've seen main events fall out for whatever reason. They just go with what's there. And all we're saying is grab these two. You know what I thought, Ali, when they first said it? I didn't read it. I think it was on my phone. Probably too much eggnog. All I thought was that the canceled card in Anaheim was back on with Jones and Gustafson. They were just moving them 3 weeks back.
I thought the same.
And they were just going to fill a bunch of fights underneath it, and that would be it. And this thing was still going. I couldn't believe it when I heard the whole thing was going forward.
That wouldn't be a bad idea.
So it sucks because so many things to consider. Amanda Nunes says, now I got to pay California state taxes. I wasn't expecting that. Maybe the UFC can do that for all their fighters. I know a lot of fans are saying, I can't switch my hotel. I'm getting hosted on hotel and flights.
The fan got screwed.
Yeah.
The fan got screwed more than the fighters. Because the fighters, the UFC's, they're going to check in here. Everybody leave Thursday going to California, cut weight and make weight and fight, right?
Yeah.
They're going to get hosed on the taxes, but they're going to get their taxes back at the end of the year. But at the end of the day, listen, the UFC have a loan they have to pay. And they need they need end of December, they need money to pay the loan. They have a loan. They take a loan.
But they'll still make that. It sounds like they're a healthy business that can still make this payment regardless, because it wouldn't have been any different than if John Jones stubbed his toe or somebody.
I don't think John Jones is going to sell a million pay-per-view buys.
Me neither.
He's not, he's maybe.
DC's his dance partner. They get high when DC's involved.
That's it. That's it. And I don't think he's one of the best. He's great, but I don't think he's a pay-per-view draw yet. But he can get 400,000. I think this pay-per-view maybe will do 500,000 because what happened. But I don't think this pay-per-view will break 500,000.
He's 100% right. And there's a reason why John Jones keeps tweeting at Daniel Cormier is because he needs him to sell.
100%.
On his own, he can sell some, and maybe with a couple fights, maybe he can get that number back
Yes,
up,
for
but it'll
sure.
never be where he
If he
needs
stay
to be.
consistent, he can grow for sure. But listen, John, I love watching a guy fight, man. He's a great fighter. But these things, I don't know the signs, but I have to agree with everything DC is saying. Like it's like, why you have the guy fight? Make him wait, make clear up, and just make him said, hey, I'm clean, I'm here to fight. But you having him fight and the stuff in his system, it's been in his system for 2 years, 3 years, just but nobody knows. Listen, this whole thing, it make the UFC look bad. It make just and I don't know, man. The whole thing is a mess. I got two fighters on the card, and we had to deal with it, and we have to do. I did what I can for them to make them comfortable, but just make sure their family's good with them. Then, but they are good. They have everything they need, and they move on. They're gonna go to California tomorrow, make weight, and fight.